One time is luck, twice is skill. To do it again and again is an art. When life gives you Mikel, you can choose to be Oyarzábal, Arteta, or Merino. I know which one I will choose. What does it actually mean to be clutch in football? We throw the word around constantly, but true clutch is not just about scoring a lot of goals. It's more about knowing when to score the goals. If you watch the Spain national team or Arsenal over the last few years, you already know the inevitable truth. When the clock ticks past the 85th minute, there is one man the opponents always keep an eye out for: Mikel Merino. Before the world knew him as a game changer, he was building an engine designed for war. At Osasuna, Borussia Dortmund, and a brief spell at Newcastle United, where fittingly his only goal was a late game-winning header against Crystal Palace in 2017, he was learning the dark arts of midfield dominance. But it was at Real Sociedad where the monster of Merino truly unleashed. In the 2023-24 season, Mikel Merino won 326 duels in La Liga. He won more physical battles than any other player in Europe's top 5 leagues. That physical dominance peaked in the 2020 Copa del Rey final, where he dragged Real Sociedad to the trophy and walked away with the Man of the Match award. He was establishing a unique profile, the elegance of a Spanish number 8, but built into the frame of a classic Premier League enforcer. When Arsenal came calling in the summer of 2024, Merino accepted. Arteta, himself from the Basque Country, himself having ties to Real Sociedad, recognized that Arsenal needed a player who did not shrink when the lights were blinding. The Mikel Merino stats with Arsenal are staggering, not only because of the sheer amount of goals he scores, but every goal that he scores having a weight that is very important. Of his first 11 Premier League goals for the Gunners, a ridiculous 10 of them either drew Arsenal level or put them directly in front. He punished Liverpool, he scored crucial goals against Chelsea and Leicester, and perhaps most famously, he buried the third goal in a monumental 3-0 victory against Real Madrid in the Champions League quarter-finals. Under Arteta, Merino evolved. He was mastering the art of the late, untracked box-crashing run, a striker's instinct hiding in a midfielder's jersey. That brings us to the international stage, where Merino's legacy shifts from impressive to godlike. Euro 2024 quarterfinals, Spain against the host nation Germany. The match is suffocatingly tight, locked at 1-1, and grinding toward a penalty shootout. The clock hits 119 minutes. Dani Olmo floats the ball into the box. What happens next is what Mikel Merino will eventually become famous for. Merino hangs in the air, overpowering the German defense, and powers the header into the net. It's the Euro 2024 winner that sent shockwaves through the tournament. But it was also beautifully poetic. 33 years prior, his own father, Angel Merino, scored and celebrated in that exact same stadium for Osasuna. In one moment, Merino knocked out the hosts, honored his family name, and cemented his status as Spain's ultimate late-game ace. 2 years later, now it's the World Cup. In the build-up to the 2026 FIFA World Cup, disaster struck. A severe injury sidelined him entirely. We're not talking about missing a few matches at the end of the season or missing preparation games. No, Merino was confined to no movement completely. For a player whose entire game relies on explosive physical duels and vertical leaps and clutch moments, there were genuine fears he would miss the biggest tournament on earth. The rehabilitation was grueling, lonely, and painful. But Luis de la Fuente, the Spain boss who has trusted Merino since his youth team days, kept his spot open. He knew that even at 80% fitness, a Mikel Merino clutch moment could be the difference between going home and lifting a trophy. And De La Fuente's gamble paid off in a way no one could have predicted. Fast forward to the 2026 World Cup knockout stages. Spain is locked in a brutal round of 16 match against a desperate Portugal. Cristiano Ronaldo is hunting for a fairy tale ending, but in the 91st minute, it's Merino who shatters the dream, scoring a stoppage time winner to send Spain through. But lightning could not strike twice in the same week, right? Well, 4 days later, the quarterfinal against Belgium. The game is tied 1-1. The tension is unbearable. In the 86th minute, Merino, once again as a substitute, steps onto the pitch. Exactly 117 seconds later, Belgium's defense cracks. The goalkeeper spills a long shot, and who is there to pounce? Mikel Merino once again. Yeah, his goals, they don't happen by accident. And thus, in the 88th minute, he boots it home, sends Belgium out, and makes sure that Spain qualifies to the next round. He became the first player in the entire history of the World Cup to score winning goals in separate knockout ties as a substitute, as a super sub. Substitute is a lesser word. Super sub is what we call him. Spain remained unbeaten in 37 consecutive competitive matches thanks to that moment, a streak built on beautiful possession and flawless passing. But when the system fails, when the passing lanes are blocked, and when the clock is red, they turn the big double M. Mikel Merino is the jagged edge of the Spanish sword. He is proof that in a game obsessed with tactics and data, there is still room for sheer willpower. The Arsenal midfielder is without question the most dangerous super sub in modern football history. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure you drop a like and subscribe to La Liga Vic. I will see you in the next one. Hasta luego.